Have you ever wondered why some people seem to move effortlessly towards success while others remain stuck, even though they work just as hard? What if I told you that the difference lies not in luck, but in having a clear roadmap? Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more lessons on self-improvement and personal success. Today, we'll walk through the Jim Rohn roadmap: success, wealth, and the power of growth. 1. Defining your roadmap. Every great achievement begins with direction. Without direction, energy is scattered and effort is wasted. Think about a ship leaving the harbor. If the captain has no map, no compass, and no chosen destination, the ship will drift aimlessly, carried wherever the winds and currents take it. That's exactly how life is for people who never pause to define their personal roadmap. They might be working hard, they might be putting in long hours, but without clarity, all that effort may lead to places they never intended to go. Jim Rohn believed that clarity is the first step to greatness. When you clearly decide what you want, you give your life a sense of order and meaning. You stop reacting to life and begin responding with purpose. A roadmap doesn't just point to a destination, it also shapes your daily decisions, influences the people you surround yourself with, and becomes the filter through which you measure progress. Defining your roadmap begins with asking yourself bold, honest questions. Who do I want to become? What do I want to achieve in the next 5, 10, or 20 years? What kind of contribution do I want to make to the world? These are not quick questions. They require reflection and courage. Too often, people live by accident, following the path of least resistance, only to wake up one day realizing they've arrived somewhere they never truly wanted to be. Rohn's philosophy encourages us to live by design. By defining your roadmap, you set the standards of your life instead of letting others define them for you. A clear vision becomes a magnet. It pulls you forward even when times get tough, because you know that the destination is worth the journey. A roadmap must also be written, not just imagined. There's power in putting your goals on paper. Writing them down forces you to clarify vague desires into concrete objectives. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be successful," you write, "I want to build a business that earns $100,000 annually while giving me the flexibility to spend evenings with my family." One is wishful thinking. The other is a roadmap. The written roadmap serves as a contract with yourself, a visible reminder that guides you back on course whenever distractions or setbacks arise. Without it, even the best intentions can lead you in circles. You may feel busy, but busyness without direction is just disguised stagnation. The beauty of a roadmap is that it doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, it never will be. Life will throw unexpected challenges, and sometimes the road will require detours. But as long as you know your destination, those detours won't leave you lost. They will simply become part of the story. Rohn emphasized that success is not an accident. It's a deliberate journey. The roadmap ensures that each step you take is aligned with your highest values and long-term aspirations. It helps you say no to things that don't serve your purpose, and it strengthens your ability to focus on what truly matters. When you know where you're going, you can measure progress with confidence, adjust strategies with wisdom, and celebrate milestones with gratitude. Defining your roadmap is not just about getting somewhere, it's about becoming someone in the process. 2. Personal growth milestones. Once the map is clear, the next step is growth. Progress is measured not just by what you achieve, but by who you become along the way. Too often, people equate success only with external accomplishments, money, titles, recognition. Yet these are temporary markers. The deeper truth, as Jim Rohn often taught, is that success is the result of personal growth. It's the inner victories that shape the outer ones. Your character, your mindset, your habits, and your daily disciplines are the real milestones. When you improve who you are, you naturally attract better opportunities, stronger relationships, and greater results. Rohn put it simply, success is something you attract by the person you become. That's why your greatest asset isn't what you have, but who you are becoming every single day. Personal growth milestones come in many forms. Every book you read is a milestone because it plants new ideas in your mind, expanding your perspective and deepening your wisdom. Every skill you practice is another milestone because it sharpens your ability to add value to the world. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you mark a milestone, proving that you can master yourself. These inner victories may not always be visible to others, but they accumulate quietly, shaping your destiny in powerful ways. For example, when you develop the habit of consistent learning, you separate yourself from the masses who settle for complacency. When you cultivate patience, resilience, and gratitude, you build the kind of foundation that no failure can destroy. Growth milestones are not measured in quick wins, but in lasting transformations. Another vital milestone is the ability to shift your mindset. Many people remain stuck because they carry limiting beliefs about themselves. Beliefs such as, I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes, or success is for others, not me. Breaking free from these mental barriers is one of the greatest signs of growth. Each time you replace a limiting belief with an empowering one, you mark a turning point on your journey. Suddenly, opportunities that once seemed impossible begin to feel attainable. The growth is not just in the external results, but in the newfound confidence and courage you carry within. This inner shift creates a ripple effect, influencing how you approach challenges, how you interact with others, and how you handle setbacks. Milestones also include the relationships you build and the values you embody. Are you becoming more honest, more generous, more dependable? Do people trust you more today than they did yesterday? These are questions that reveal the deeper aspects of growth. Jim Rohn often emphasized that success is not something you pursue. It is something you attract by aligning yourself with qualities that naturally create value in the world. Every time you choose integrity over shortcuts, every time you invest in becoming a better listener, teacher, or leader, you achieve milestones that are far more valuable than external trophies. They form the invisible architecture of a life well lived. Ultimately, personal growth milestones are about becoming the kind of person who can handle the life you envision. If your roadmap points toward wealth, leadership, or freedom, you must grow into someone capable of sustaining those blessings. Without growth, even if you achieve success, you may lose it just as quickly. But when you build character, wisdom, and resilience, your success becomes not only achievable, but sustainable. Growth is the foundation upon which all great achievements rest, and every small milestone of self-improvement brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. 3. Money management principles. Now let's talk about wealth. Money, for many people, is one of the most misunderstood subjects. Some view it with fear, others with obsession, and many with confusion. But Jim Rohn emphasized that money is not a master, it is a servant, a tool that should work for you, not against you. When managed wisely, money can create freedom, opportunity, and peace of mind. When mismanaged, it can become a source of stress, regret, and limitation. The difference lies not in how much you earn, but in how well you manage what you earn. Rohn often noted that many people who win the lottery end up bankrupt within years, while others with modest incomes build wealth over time. The lesson is clear. Wealth is less about income and more about discipline. The first principle is simple yet powerful. Spend less than you earn. It sounds obvious, but it's one of the most consistently violated principles in modern life. Many people allow lifestyle inflation to eat up their earnings. As income rises, so do expenses, until no progress is made. Living within your means is the cornerstone of financial wisdom. It's not about deprivation, but about intentionality. When you learn to distinguish between needs and wants, you take control of your financial destiny. Rohn often reminded his audience that financial freedom begins not with earning more, but with managing better. Saving even a small portion of your income consistently builds habits that lead to long-term security. Another principle is to invest in things that grow. Money sitting idle loses value over time due to inflation, but money invested wisely compounds. Compounding is one of the most powerful forces in finance. It allows small, consistent investments to grow into significant wealth over the years. Investing doesn't just mean putting money into stocks or businesses. It also means investing in your own education and skills. The more you know and the more value you can create, the more opportunities you attract. Your financial growth is directly tied to your personal growth. As Rohn said, formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. By continually investing in yourself and your assets, you multiply your capacity to create and sustain wealth. A third principle is stewardship, being intentional with your resources. Money is not just for spending or saving, it is for allocating wisely according to your values. This means creating a budget, tracking your expenses, and ensuring that your spending aligns with your goals. Stewardship also includes generosity. Rohn believed that giving, whether to charity, family, or community, is part of financial responsibility. Generosity ensures that wealth has a purpose beyond personal gain. It keeps you humble, connected, and grateful, reminding you that money is a tool for impact as much as for comfort. True wealth, then, is not about income alone, but about balance. Wealth without wisdom quickly disappears, but wealth with purpose compounds over time. That's why money management is as much a mindset as it is a skill. It requires patience, discipline, and foresight. It requires resisting the temptation of instant gratification in favor of long-term rewards. When you master your money, you master a crucial part of your life. You reduce stress, increase freedom, and create opportunities for yourself and others. You begin to experience the joy of not just making money, but making money meaningful. Rohn's principles remind us that financial success is not reserved for the lucky or the gifted. It is available to anyone willing to adopt the discipline of stewardship, the foresight of investment, and the humility of generosity. Money is a servant. Make it serve you well, and it will multiply the quality of your life for years to come. 4. The journey of consistency. Dreams are often imagined as grand, sweeping events, a sudden breakthrough, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, or a miraculous moment of luck. But anyone who has actually achieved something worthwhile will tell you that this picture is misleading. The truth is, dreams rarely come alive overnight. The real secret ingredient that fuels transformation and lasting success is consistency. It is the seemingly unremarkable, ordinary habit of showing up every single day, regardless of how inspired you feel, that leads to extraordinary outcomes over time. Consistency is less about fireworks and more about the slow, steady fire that refuses to burn out. Jim Rohn, one of the great thinkers on personal development, called it the magic of discipline. Discipline is not about punishing yourself or living rigidly. It is about deliberately choosing the path that aligns with your values and goals, and then walking that path faithfully, step after step. Each time you exercise when you'd rather rest, each time you save money instead of spending it carelessly, each time you read instead of wasting the evening scrolling, you cast a small vote for the person you want to become. These votes compound over weeks, months, and years, eventually shaping a life of meaning and achievement. Just like compound interest builds wealth silently in the background, Consistent daily actions accumulate power that may not be visible at first, but eventually becomes undeniable. Consistency requires patience because the results often delay their appearance. You may plant the seeds of good habits today and water them faithfully for months before seeing any sign of growth. This is why many people quit. They expect immediate rewards for their effort, but life doesn't work that way. Growth is invisible at first, then sudden in appearance. A bamboo tree, for instance, spends years developing roots underground before it ever breaks the soil. When it finally does, it shoots upward rapidly, astonishing everyone who wasn't paying attention to the hidden work beneath. Human progress works the same way. What looks like an overnight success is almost always the product of years of unseen, consistent effort. The journey of consistency is not glamorous. It doesn't grab headlines or inspire applause. It's boring to outsiders because it's repetitive, predictable, and filled with the same small choices repeated over and over. But in truth, it's the most powerful force for transformation you'll ever encounter. Think about a river carving through rock. The water is not stronger than the stone, but because it flows consistently, day after day, year after year, it shapes valleys and creates canyons. Your habits are the river. Your life is the rock. Keep flowing, and eventually you will carve a masterpiece out of yourself. Consistency also protects you from the trap of relying on fleeting motivation. Motivation comes and goes. It rises with inspiration and crashes when life feels heavy. If your actions depend on motivation, you will always live in cycles of starting and quitting. Consistency, however, builds structure. It makes discipline automatic because you act not from mood, but from identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who simply does what is required, regardless of the day's emotions. And when your identity shifts to align with consistency, success becomes inevitable. You no longer ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" Instead, you simply say, "This is what I do." That shift is everything. Ultimately, consistency teaches us that greatness is not about doing something once in a dramatic fashion. It's about doing the right thing 1,000 times when nobody is watching. It's about making the bed, eating the right food, saving a small amount, exercising for half an hour, or writing 1 page a day. Each act, insignificant on its own, becomes powerful in repetition. The journey of consistency is the most certain road to success because it ensures that even small steps, when taken daily, will eventually cover enormous distances. In the end, consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality.
5. Arriving at success with purpose. Too often, people chase success as if it were a finish line, imagining that once they cross it, happiness and fulfillment will follow automatically. They see the trophies, the applause, the bank account balance, or the social recognition as the true prize. Yet when they arrive, they sometimes find the achievement strangely hollow. This is because success, stripped of meaning, is merely accumulation. True success is not defined by how much you have, but by how much significance your journey carries. Arriving at success with purpose transforms achievement from an empty milestone into a life well lived. Purpose is the compass that keeps success from becoming meaningless. It provides direction, reminding you that your growth, wealth, and discipline are not only for yourself, but also for the greater good. Money without purpose becomes greed. Recognition without purpose becomes vanity. Growth without purpose becomes self-obsession. But when tied to something larger, when your efforts lift others, inspire your community, or contribute to the world, success takes on a deeper dimension. It becomes not just a private victory, but a legacy that continues long after the applause fades. The journey toward purposeful success is not easy because it requires asking difficult questions. Why am I pursuing this goal? What kind of person am I becoming in the process? Am I living in alignment with my values? These questions strip away the shallow pursuits and expose the deeper reasons for striving. Without purpose, you may climb the ladder of success only to discover that it was leaning against the wrong wall. With purpose, however, every rung of the ladder matters because you know where it leads and why it matters. Purpose also reshapes the definition of failure. Without purpose, failure feels devastating because it threatens your identity as a successful person. But when your pursuit is tied to something meaningful, failure becomes feedback, not finality. It teaches, refines, and strengthens you for the journey ahead. You no longer fear setbacks because your purpose transcends them. This resilience is what separates those who burn out after achieving superficial goals from those who thrive even through challenges because they know the why behind the struggle. Arriving at success with purpose also ensures that you enjoy the journey, not just the destination. Many people sacrifice their health, relationships, and integrity chasing after external rewards, only to realize too late that they traded the most important things for trinkets. Purpose prevents this tragedy because it demands balance. It reminds you that who you become along the way matters just as much as where you arrive. Success is not only the end result, it is the character you build, the habits you form, and the lives you touch during the process. In fact, sometimes the journey itself is the real success because the lessons you learn cannot be measured by numbers or trophies. When you finally reach your goals with purpose, the victory feels different. The money is sweeter because it was earned with integrity. The recognition feels rewarding because it reflects not just your skill, but your contribution. The sense of accomplishment is richer because it aligns with your values. You realize that success is not just about accumulation, but about transformation, about becoming someone who not only achieves, but also uplifts, inspires, and serves. In this way, purpose ensures that the success you build is sustainable, fulfilling, and meaningful. In the end, true success is not a destination, but a journey with purpose as its companion. It is about waking up each day with clarity, knowing that your efforts are part of a larger picture, that your life has meaning beyond personal gain. Arriving at success with purpose ensures that when you look back, you will not only be proud of what you achieved, but also grateful for who you became and how you used your gifts. This is the kind of success worth striving for, one that leaves behind not just trophies, but a legacy.
So, what's your roadmap? Where are you heading, and who are you becoming in the process? Jim Rohn's wisdom teaches us that success and wealth are not destinations. They're the results of growth, consistency, and purpose. If this message inspired you, make sure to subscribe. Share this with someone who's on their journey. And remember, the road to success is built one disciplined step at a time.